Welcome to the Black Educated Tea Podcast. I'm your host, Makeda Marie, and today's topic is opinions. But as always, before we get into the tea, let's get into this tea. So I am drinking a serendipity tea, and it has orange in it, rose petals, it has lemon in it, lemon balm, so it has a lot of lemon in it. And so I actually absolutely love lemon in my teas. It just gives it that extra taste, that extra burst to it. So I'm actually drinking serendipity tea by Oasis Vibe. Really, really good tea. Go out there and try it out. Serendipity tea, that's what I'm drinking today. So I want to get into this topic on opinions. And you know what made me really want to get into this topic? About a month or two ago, when Beyonce released her Renaissance album. And there were so many opinions on her album. And she probably could care less. You know, let's just be honest here. But there was like so many opinions and mixed reviews and things on her album. And it made me just take a moment and step back to think of how, you know, the saying, everybody has an opinion, just like everybody has a, you know, everybody has an opinion. I'll just put it that way. And so I just saw all the different opinions. Like some people's like, oh, it's her best album ever. And some people's like, I absolutely hate the album. And, you know, some people was, oh, she could have did this with the album. I don't like the cover. There were like so many different opinions on her album. And I mean, honestly, since everybody else is giving their opinion, I can just give my opinion on it. I like it. I mean, I absolutely love her album because to me, it shows the growth in her. It shows that, hey, now she's a grown woman, she's a mother, she's a wife, you know, she's about her business. So it just shows the evolution, it shows the growth in her. Because I don't want to still hear the same Beyonce tunes from 20 years ago. You know, you have to show that you are growing in several ways. So I like the album because it is showing that she is growing as a person and as an artist. But what was my key takeaway from it is like, man, it's amazing how people really do have opinions on us, and how do we take those opinions in and how do we let it influence us? And for me, I am absolutely guilty of letting other people's opinions of me and what I should be doing, what I should be saying, and influence me to the point that their opinions I would actually take to heart and start to do these things. Because I felt like their opinions mattered so much. So if someone was saying, hey, Makeda, you need to go to school to do this, or no, you need to find a job and do this, I would actually do those things because it's like I valued their opinion so much on, and it didn't matter what I necessarily wanted. Because I was like, hey, it's their opinion, it has to be right. You know, they're trying to do what's best for me. But then I started to realize, like, no, that I should not let someone else's opinion have this much influence over my life. Everybody's entitled to an opinion, and some opinions are really good because we need those. We need those opinions, those constructive feedback. You know, we need good and bad opinions. But how much of those opinions are we letting influence our lives? Are you taking those opinions that people give you, and are you saying, well, you know what, you gave me an opinion that I should be doing this with my career, so I'm going to do that. You know, you told me that I should be doing this with my business, so I'm going to do that. Is there something that you really want to do? So that's the question to ask yourself. Because there's, you know, I've had really good opinions that people have given me, and it was some of the best advice ever. And then I've had some absolutely terrible opinions and advice, and instead of probably following that good advice and those good opinions, I probably went more toward the opinions and the things that I shouldn't have been following or listening to. But how much are you letting other people's opinions influence you? Because just to go back to Beyonce's album, the songs that she decided to put on that album are probably songs she absolutely loved that she wanted on her album. I'm just assuming. I have no clue whatsoever. But just to think that, you know, as she's playing a particular song and somebody's opinion, now she may love the song, but she plays it for somebody else and their opinion's like, I don't really like that tune, I don't like that beat, I don't like that bass line. Just think if she would have took that particular song off her album because she's being influenced by somebody else's opinion. And that just goes to say that you can take people's opinion and take the good and the bad from it, but do not let it get to the point that it influences your decisions on what you want in life. Because I have. And I looking back, like, I don't have any regrets in my life at all. I don't regret absolutely nothing, because I think everything I've encountered has been a lesson. So I don't have any regrets. But just looking back, I think if I would have just took those opinions from people and be like, you know what, that's your opinion, I absolutely respect it, and I'm going to take it into consideration. But for me right now, this is what I want to do. This is what I feel like I should be doing. Because I think we all need those opinions. We all need that feedback. But when is there a boundary? When do we cross the line on, okay, that is your opinion, but I've already made my decision on what I want to do? And I was guilty of that for years. Letting people's opinions actually be a factor in my decision making, which it should not necessarily be that way. If I want to do something, it should be because I want to do it. If I want to pursue something, it's because I want to pursue it. Because bottom line, it has to be what you want to do. And you should not let others influence you so heavily, because I have. And it took years and years and years and years of practice and knowing what I want and what I don't want to be like, yeah, you know, I respect your opinion, but, because there can always be a but in it. You know, you can always tell people, I absolutely respect your opinion, and it may be a good opinion, but this is what I want for myself. And then know that some people's opinions or some people's feedback, it may actually be a good thing for you too, because all opinions are not negative. But at times we do tend to focus more on the negative opinions than maybe the positive opinions. So know how to, you know the difference when you're actually getting a positive opinion and a positive feedback, and how to use that, even the negative as well. Especially depending on the field that you're in, the career that you have. If you're a business owner, you're going to get the good reviews, you're going to get the negative reviews. So you got to know how to take both of them and learn from it. But don't let it have such a huge impact and influence your life, like I have. And it takes years and years of practice to just try to tune those opinions out. Take what you need out of it and tune the rest of it out, because it could definitely affect you, especially with social media. You know, I know a life without social media and all this technology. I honestly do. I'm a millennial, so I know a life without it. So I'm kind of that in between. I have a really good balance, but just know when to tune out the social media when the opinions of others get too heavy on you, where it affects your decision making on what you want for your life. Career-wise, business-wise, relationship-wise, love-wise. Know what you want. Listen to the opinions if you want to. But take what you can out of those opinions. Apply it to your life in ways if you want to. But still let that decision be your final decision on what you want and what's comfortable for you. Because that's what I've been working on. That's what I've been doing. I've been taking the feedback, the opinions, and the conversations, and learning how to apply it to my life, but still knowing, hey, this is what Makeda wants, and what Makeda wants, Makeda gets. So, you know, I just say that to say that whole Beyonce, her album thing was really, it really made me think about a lot of different things. Like I said, and I love the album, but it made me really think about just so many different things, especially with just opinions. I was like, man, everybody has an opinion on this album, and I'm like, I wonder if she really cares about the opinions like that, because this is her album. This is, you know, her tears and sweat and hours of hard work that she's put into it. I'm like, I wonder if she's really even consuming herself with the opinions of, you know, the fans and the non-fans and all this. I'm like, I wonder if she's really listening to those opinions and taking it in. You know, because you can't avoid some opinions. You cannot. Because, you know, a lot of people are going to have an opinion on things that you're doing, and some you cannot avoid. But I guess the key is, how are you taking it in? And are you taking it in a good way? Are you taking it in a bad way? And how is it influencing you? And so I just often wonder, for anybody that's doing anything business-wise or you know, for these celebrities, or just living day to day. How are you letting others' opinions of you influence you and affect your decision making and your life choices? Because I honestly have, and it should not be that way. But sometimes it's hard not to, especially, you know, people that are close to you, loved ones, family and friends and colleagues, and so sometimes it's just hard not to take others' opinions to heart and let it affect you. But have your boundaries. Know when to take those opinions and when not to take those opinions. And I would just really love to hear how you take in opinions, if you do at all. Because like I said, I still do. It's impossible not to. When you're interacting with people and just living day to day, it's hard not to hear different opinions on what you should be doing. But how are you taking in those opinions, and how are you applying it to your life in a negative or positive way? I would just love to hear, you know. So as always, please just share your stories, comment, and as always, this is the Black Educated Tea Podcast.